Well, you asked me about the priorities of the legislature, and it should always be to make good policy, and about a variety of different things, from children to roads to corrections to education. The focus of this legislative session, like all legislative sessions, will be that, but it will be more honed because of the revenue picture that we're looking at. If in October the forecasting board comes back with a more negative revenue projection than what we're facing right now, we could potentially be looking at $1 billion shortfall over the next biennium. In light of that, my guess is that despite the number of bills that will be introduced during this 90-day session, most of our attention will be devoted to the budget and trying to make it balance. If there is such a thing as a benefit from a recessionary period like we're facing and a lack of revenue, it is that it forces us to prioritize. And whereas generally my focus has to be on preparing a plan for budget reductions in all of education, from kindergarten through the university system, as with all committees, they'll all be submitting plans. What we are doing is prioritizing. And voices of children had their priority, and rightly so. Children ought to be a priority. And I'm sure that you understand that every other agency in the state of Nebraska thinks that their mission is also a priority mission. And it's up to the legislative body, the 49 of us, to ultimately make some decisions, make some choices. I told you during this session, and I'll say it again, though we have to try to make everything balance, there's going to be some things, I couldn't predict what, are going to have to go away because we won't have the revenue. And maybe they should go away. We cannot be everything to everybody. But I honestly believe, knowing my colleagues as I do, that education and children and many of your issues will be at the top of the list to attempt to prioritize as much as we can over a lot of other things. And there will be a lot of unhappy constituencies out there before this session is over.